What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to install a 2021 Jeep Wrangler stubby front bumper from Genright Off-Road. As you can see, I already have a few things done. A few of the things that are going to be required to install this bumper are cutting the frame horns off, as well as drilling out these bolts here, which I have done previously and had a shop cut the frame horns. I don't have an Sawzall or anything like that, so I wasn't able to do it. So as you can see, I already have a few things installed, like the winch plate and the winch itself. Let's go ahead and cut to a clip of that right now. So we're going to be starting the rest of the install from here. It's going to be super easy. You're going to need 4 bolts here, and then that is pretty much it once you put the skin on and the D-ring hooks. Without further ado, you're going to need a 17, 18mm socket, pry bar, pliers, a few other things like that. But other than that, it's pretty easy. And then once we get it all installed, I'll go through my review of the installation as well as what I think of the bumper. So with the threaded rods installed, you're going to then want to go ahead and make sure those are tightened into the nutsert that's provided. And then once those are fully installed, you're going to take the bumper skin. As you can see, I powder coated mine matte black so it matches the car a little bit better. You're going to go ahead and slide it over, make sure the nuts don't fall back too far. And then this is then where you take the D-ring hook points and go ahead and install the left 2 bolts and leave the threaded rods installed. I found this was the easiest way. I hand tight everything. That's why I left these clips in there. It's extremely important that you hand tight all these bolts first before you go back with the socket, because a lot of this stuff didn't line up very well, and if you cranked it down too early, you'd find yourself not being able to tighten the other bolts in. So as you can see, just go ahead and hand tighten every bolt in. Make sure to only take out one of the threaded rods at a time before you put a bolt in. That way the threaded nut doesn't fall back. And then go back through and quickly tighten. You're going to want to go ahead and torque these down later on. Just for the sake of keeping this video under 10 minutes, I went ahead and just tightened everything by hand and then torqued it later off camera. As you can see, just using a standard wrench, you're going to need a deep socket and an extension to go ahead and reach those nuts in the back. They're kind of tight in there. I'm still waiting for my ratchet. I got to go get it from Home Depot and pick it up. I got an electric ratchet coming just to make this a much easier process than trying to tighten all these nuts by hand with a wrench and a socket. But this just goes to show that you can do this with some basic hand tools. You don't have to have the fancy tools to get these installs done like they show in the install videos. So, without further ado, let's hop to the next part.
From the videos you just watched, I got all the bolts tightened up. Yeah, don't know where this bolt is, so ignore that. Next step is going to be installing the fair lead. As you can see, I don't have anything in there. Wait for a bolt for the synthetic fair lead since I'm replacing this. So you'll go ahead and do one bolt here, and then like the little nut insert with another bolt here. So let's go ahead and get those installed, and then we'll get this wrapped up and go through my thoughts of the.
Now you're going to want to go ahead and take that little threaded nut plate, whatever you want to call it, smush it in between the winch mount and the bumper, then take the provided hardware and that metal plate, also powder coated black, and your winch fair lead, and go ahead and thread that in there. I went ahead and with my fair lead had to go ahead and get longer bolts. So go ahead and do that, and then install the left side with a nut. It's kind of hard to reach in, so a little tape and wrench is helpful. And then go ahead and tighten those down, not too hard. And then once you're done with that, this is where you just add your accessories. This is where you'll want to add your Factor 55, things like that, as well as your D-ring hooks. As you can see, I paint match mine to be green, like the color of the car. And without further ado, that completes the install. So Hope you enjoy the new kind of format of the voiceover, making these videos a lot quicker and easier to watch. And then stick tuned for my thoughts and review of the install and kind of the next steps on this Jeep build. Thanks. As you can see, I got the bumper all wrapped up. I had mentioned that I'm going to do my final thoughts of the install, so we'll go through what I did not like about it. So, as you can see, this bolt is not going in. It has to do with the fact that this little winch plate, this plate right here, and then the nut insert don't fit. Another thing, as you can kind of see, here, let's do that. That does not line up with that hole. And then all 8 of those bolts had to be drilled out because none of them lined up and they were hitting the frame. Those are just a couple of the things. As you can see, quite a bit was chopped off the frame, which was intended. So all 3 of those are my biggest complaints. I mean, when you're spending $800 on a bumper, you'd expect at least the bolts to line up, or some half instructions that explain specifically to this bumper what you're doing, because the instructions on this bumper are the instruction for every bumper that they have. So those are going to be my biggest turndowns of this bumper. Obviously it looks great. I don't know how much Genright stuff I'll get, if this is kind of what to expect with this bumper, but I'm going to do the rear bumper so that they match. I have a few other things planned. As you can see, still don't have the synthetic rope back in, so I'm going to have to put that in another video. A couple things didn't work out, so I'm going to need to order some stuff. But as you can see, it is all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this install. Make sure to hit the subscribe button for more content. I'll see you in the next one.